luckily, my wife and I, our vocations are considered essential. She works in a higher end position in a bank, and I'm a real estate agent. And so, even though the market has taken a hit, and has bounced back a little bit in this area, and we've been lucky to where it hasn't affected us as much either. But for the families that it has affected, or industries, because even real estate has been affected. I haven't seen as many sales over the past months that I normally would. What is a way that people can protect their income as well as their financial wealth and positioning in life?
Well, in general, there are some strategies, but currently, I think it's important to focus on what is most urgent and what is most critical, because right now this is sort of a triage opportunity. If this was medicine, this is one of those where first you sort everything out and then you decide what's going to happen next. For families, if you have your health currently and you still have an income, you still have a job, you're going to come through this much, much better than just about anybody else. So I would say that side hustles, which I believe I'm part of for you right now, which is great. Side hustles have never been more important. The millennial generation figured this out. Gen Z is going to be second nature at it. Xers and boomers, not quite sure yet, but the side hustle's never been more important, because in a period where there's high unemployment and people could potentially lose a job, it's real important to have a secondary source of income in a household. In addition, just making sure that there's an emergency fund, that you have available credit matters. So right now, I would say keep an eye. If you own a home and you have a home equity line of credit, keep an eye on it. Make sure that it stays open and active. Talk to your bank if necessary. If you have other types of lines of credit, make sure they're available. You don't want to start paying rent or a mortgage with Visa. That would be a total disaster. So, and then, the next piece is Gen Z. The best thing Gen Z can do is learn from some of the millennials' mistakes. And the biggest one is student loans.
Mm.
An entire generation is completely hamstrung by massive student loans that were essentially, it was almost fraud, because the promise was, if you get your undergraduate degree, it's worth whatever you pay for it, and you'll make so much more money that you'll just pay the loans off and it'll be no big deal. And it sends families back and individuals back sometimes a decade or more in their wealth journey.
I want to drop a few elbows on that subject.
No problem. Let's do it.
Like, I want to give some black eyes. I want to give some jugular throat punches, because you have hit the nail on the head. I am a lucky individual. I went to a private Christian institution, great college. I graduated with $33,000 of student loans. Most of my classmates graduated from the lower end 80 to 130,000 in there.
Mhm.
I got very lucky to come out with so little. And I attribute that to my parents. They did a phenomenal job in providing for me to go to college. But, when I got out of college, then they're like, you know what? I think we're done. Like, we're not going to pay these off. This is on you now. And I was so
That's
bitter and angry.
you borrowed it. They didn't.
Right. No, exactly. But I was so bitter and angry, and I wanted to blame them. Like,
Yeah.
you told me you're going to pay for this, so I went, and now you're not. I at the end of the day, it was my choice. And 10 years later, I have like $900 left to pay off. And I'm not bitter or angry at my parents, but because it also became one of the biggest blessings, because it has made me financially wiser,
Okay.
because it
See,
was a
learning from it.
hardship. Yeah, well, not only that, but paying it was a hardship
You
for 10
made this
years.
decision. You made this decision at 17 or 18 years old. You weren't equipped for this decision.
Yeah, no, not
So
at
yes,
all.
you made it, and you made it of your own free will, and you made it as chronologically an adult.
Yeah.
But to think that young people are capable of making six-figure financial decisions that are going to impact their entire lives before they're old enough to vote or have a Budweiser doesn't make sense to me. And so, you look at this, it is a decision no young person's really prepared to make, and they're not getting the right guidance, because the guidance they were getting is, go to the best school you can get into. It doesn't matter what it costs. You're going to make, look how much more you're going to make if you have a college degree.